Give it a bit more sadness. But slow it down. And now they've made a patch in Nexus.
Oh my God, is that it?
Wow.
That's amazing.
And now I just use that because it's way more convenient.
This episode is being supported by Tape It. If you currently use voice notes to record your ideas, you should try Tape It instead.
It starts with that synth, the little wobbly synth.
And this synth became a big part of our sound that we used in many songs.
Yeah.
The operator.
It's just an Ableton preset. Not even a preset. If you just load an operator in Ableton, which is like one of their default synths, and you just have to turn like two knobs and you'll get it to sound like that.
Right.
What knobs?
But you have to play out each note, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
no, it won't just...
it won't just come out with this great hook.
No.
It's like, wow.
No.
I think you should explain the operator synth, like how you get that sound. Because as well, it's in symphony, rockabye, and...
Yeah, shall I try and do that? Okay, so this is how it's supposed to sound at the end. And all it is a sine wave, just very simple sine wave, but it's got like a modulation, so like a LFO, which is like a control signal that makes it go wobbly on the pitch, but it only goes wobbly towards the end of the note. So the beginning of the note sounds kind of in tune, but then it kind of like goes all kind of sad towards the end of each note, and a bit kind of mournful, and a bit kind of, so that's why you get that to me, that's the kind of essence of like a lot of what our music is. It's this kind of potentially quite joyful music, but with a kind of undertone of melancholy. And yeah, so that synth kind of sums that up. But yeah, what is it? It's just an operator. So yeah, instruments, you just drag that on.
So that's operator in Ableton, I think you were saying. Right?
Yeah. So that's what it sounds like, just open out of the box. So up the octave. So that would have been the original, and then I think, so did it go down a semitone? Yeah, so I would have put like a little pitch on it. Feel free to edit as much of this out as possible. So now it's in the wakey. But to get that little, you just turn on the LFO.
Oh, to get the sadness.
Yeah. And then we turn the release up on the actual. And give it a bit more sadness. But slow it down. And it's starting to kind of, maybe not that much. Yeah, so you do have, and then you have to like let it fade in. So by putting the attack up on the envelope for the, it's getting there, it's not quite right. And then just a bit of reverb.
And that, in a way, became one of the signature sounds of Clean Bandit, as you were saying, Grace. So it appears, or that tool is used in other songs.
Yeah.
But it seems important. It's an important part of an artist's essence, in a way, is having some kind of a signature sound. Particularly at one point, it can evolve and change, but it's useful, and it maybe helps. Does it help the band identify with who they are or what they're doing? So, I mean, obviously, for some people, for some singers, that's their voice, and however they sing, that identifies them immediately as that artist. But so many other bands have a sound that at one point defines them.
I think we were always interested in those very kind of pure, even with Mozart's House, that synth was a very kind of simplistic sound. I used to love, my grandma always had like these electric organs that she'd get from charity shops in her house. And they always had this very basic, very kind of minimal, like not overly complicated synthesized sound. And they were the first like synths that I ever played with. And I think that's that aesthetic really kind of appealed to me. And when things get too complicated, I think especially if you're trying to mix in the classical elements, I think maintaining that purity in the synth sound design, let those more complex sounds kind of sit on top without it becoming too rich.
Yeah. This episode is being supported by our good friends at Tape It, the iPhone app made specifically for musicians. If you, like many of our guests, use voice memos, then as far as we're concerned, switching to Tape It is an obvious choice. It's free, and there are a load of features you won't find on Apple's Voice Memos app, including the ability to record straight from your lock screen, set markers, add notes, include photos of settings, and you can easily import your old voice notes, sync to the cloud, and create shared playlists with co-writers and bandmates. So head to the link below to install the app now. And if you want even more, check out Tape It Pro and use the promo code TAPENOTES to receive a whopping 50% off. And now, back to the episode.
The second verse, it was actually at the last minute we decided to take out everything except the bass and the drums. And for setting out on a mission, it felt good.
Yeah, the drum.
And how did you create that bass sound?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think it might have been... I think it might be an operator as well. But you can see down here, it is also an operator.
Right.
Yeah.
The one synth producer.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Yeah. And now they've made a patch in Nexus, which is this big synth that lots of big EDM producers use. And it's called Bandit. And it's based on, I think it's not like licensed or anything, but when I opened it and I saw that sound called Bandit, and I was like, that sounds familiar.
Oh my God, is that it?
Wow.
Yeah.
So they have taken that signature sound and given it half of your name and put it into Nexus. That's amazing.
But it hasn't got as much wobble on it. It's not as sad.
Hasn't got the what? Yeah. Although I didn't manage to recreate the wobble.
But we could hear you getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah. Wow, but that's really interesting. That's quite a tribute.
That's amazing.
And now I just use that because it's way more convenient.
Brilliant.